Olo.
So, as of recently, I've dabbled with the idea of having a secondary mascot. So, welcome Miss Number 5. This girl, to say the least, is extremely crusty. She does appear to have been the previous owner's attempt at a custom, so I thought I wouldn't let the space go to waste. This is definitely the worst case of peg rust I've ever seen. I've been holding this pet hostage for a couple of weeks in preparation of making this video, and it's been leaving a nasty trail from the spring literally disintegrating inside of her head. Girl is like a salt and pepper shaker. Literally sticks to her magnet, so I think her spring is cooked. And here is my pitiful attempt at preserving my acetone by trying to scrape off the thick nail polish with random tools, but obviously that wasn't working, so I finally decided to cave and let go of my stinginess for now. Now, I know you might be wondering, Kubi, why are you changing your mascot? Your creature is so perfect already. And let me tell you, I'm not getting rid of the thing. It's simply that I associate my fella with my TikTok. I have plans to create longer content here, so I didn't see it as efficient to hide behind silly AI voices. Because I associate the creature with those videos, it doesn't feel right to then represent the same pet with my own voice. Essentially, this custom will represent me personally, and the creature is like my persona. Now, if you couldn't tell, I do find it uncomfortable to have my voice on video. You'll probably didn't know this unless you saw my one TikTok implying it, but I used to be in LPS studio back in the day, and I haven't made a video since. However, I have so many ideas for stories that I want to tell, and I can't not speak. Essentially, I'm using this opportunity as a bit of exposure therapy, but I'll talk more about my plans later on. Because the peg was in horrible condition, I did try my luck at my first ever peg swap, and it was terrifying. Originally I wanted to replace the spring, but her peg broke, so I had to sacrifice my poor tortoise. Doing this felt like a personal betrayal, because I actually have a pet tortoise. Love you, Billy! But it did work out, and now she can finally do the iconic LPS bubble. Before I started the base layer, I gave the pet a spray outside with some matte mist to super clear. If you're planning to make your own customs, make sure it's done in a well ventilated area and that you don't breathe it in. I just wanted to give the paint something to stick to. I'm using some watered down acrylic. If your paint is a thicker consistency, it's better to apply it thin to create smooth layers which avoid streaks. The only downside is it takes longer because of the extended drying time and the extra layers to get an opaque colour. As I mentioned before, I've already got a few ideas of the content I'd like to create. I have a mail unboxing video ready to be filmed and another custom in mind, which will be likely my next uploads. But the main idea that got me to start up a channel again was to create my own series. Trying to not give too much away, it's based on a concept I started in college which took inspiration from classic 90s horror movies, so it will be a series aimed towards a mature audience. I also want to adapt it into a comic to make it more palatable, but future updates on these ideas will likely be posted on my TikTok. Admittedly, I have gotten ahead of myself and am already planning 2 other possible series ideas, even though I haven't started my first one. One of the 2 also follows a darker theme, and the other one is more lighthearted and nostalgic. Because I am an older collector, I want to make projects that broaden the LPS community. While I am a sucker for a good high school series, I'd like to try and offer some alternative stories that change the format a little. And oh my god, can I comment on how smooth her paint job is? Ooh, I really popped off. If you haven't picked up on it yet, my custom is based on the jumbo LPS short hair cat. I kind of regret doing her a little bit because all of her details are so tiny and precise. You'll have to wait and see when I get to the eye shine because that was a pain. Believe it or not, here's some real-time footage of how long it took just to paint on the ear. It's like so tedious because I'm trying to match them up to be exactly the same. They weren't perfectly symmetrical. They're sisters, not twins. It's not just me that finds it satisfying when you fill in the nose and the pores. Question mark. I was like really tempted to give the short hair cat some like toe beans that people usually do on the bottom of the feet of the customs, but because it has like a red magnet that has a paw print on it, I wasn't sure how to do it and make it not look weird. Doing the eyelashes was by far probably the worst part of this entire custom, because believe it or not, that's my thinnest brush and it still wasn't thin enough for this job. I had to keep watering it down and replacing the eyelashes so many times to make it perfectly symmetrical, but we got there in the end, okay? And that's all that matters. Now that the eyes are all done, I'm sealing them with some watered down Mod Podge. Fun fact, I've had this Mod Podge for at least over a decade, and that is the truth. I used to use this to use as a base to cover the entire pet. I did spray it with super clear again before I did this to seal all the paint in. Oh, it's so satisfying watching it go into the cracks. By far my favourite step of the custom is sealing the eyes. Maybe it's just because I know that it's finished. And now, taking the masking tape off the bottom of the foot that I used to protect the magnet. It is a little bit crusty, but we will fix her up. And now, the reveal. Ooh, eyes. Ray. This is my most recent custom, and now for a side-by-side. That was probably the last custom I have done. I just wanted to thank you all for joining me while I customize my new mascot. Remember to check out my TikTok and check out my Instagram. You will go and do it. You will.
Bye.